Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Prospero.ai stock market live streams. I hope you all had a great weekend, and we are seeing after a scary Friday in the markets where we're going to talk about it, but they dropped very quickly, and the Prospero signals nailed it yet again with the QQQ and SPY net option sentiment levels dropping just ahead of that weekday in the markets. We are seeing green across the board again today. I see Mario in our live chat. Good morning from CDMX. This market always gets better with tacos. Good morning to you as well, Mario. And yes, like you're saying, we are seeing green across the board. JC is also tuning in from YouTube. Let me highlight your guys' chats because I appreciate you chatting already. Hello from the rainy NYC metro area. Yes, I am having a very gloomy day where I'm at here in Bergen County, New Jersey as well, with some pretty bad weather right outside my window right now. So if you're on the East Coast, I think a lot of people are getting bad weather. Stay safe today. It's very windy, very rainy. But without further ado, we have some great topics to get into today. As we see we already have had 150 people in here in just a minute. So everybody like it up if you love watching the live streams or are excited for the topics. Whether you're watching on X or YouTube, follow, subscribe. Appreciate you all. And let's run down what we're going to discuss today. So we have the headlines that were announced over the weekend. We had a ceasefire deal, and we also had a bit of taco, as Mario commented already, on the tensions that really rocked the stock market on Friday between the USA and China that really spooked everybody. So we will get into that, how the Prospero signals would have helped you if you weren't checking them already, manage the whole situation and the wild movements, the volatility we're seeing in the markets. We will also discuss the mystery $10 billion customer that Broadcom has not revealed, but they have crossed one top suspect off the list. So I'll let you know which company that is and what's going on there. I see Jord Bow on YouTube is saying yes, yes, yes. We're going to get into Bloom Energy stock, which was shooting higher and has been a lot recently. Let's check it live to see where it's at right now. I think they were up as much as 30% at one point today, still up 25%. Peak today, they were up 35%. Year to date, up over 380%. There was a deal announced with them and Brookfield for a big energy AI energy supplier for Bloom. So we'll get into that, what it means for them. If you've missed this stock, is it the right time? We're seeing other AI plays go up today as well, like Oklo, the other energy names. I believe quantum stocks are also rallying ferociously today. I saw Rigetti was up a lot. Yeah, Rigetti up 14%, QBTS up 12, INQ up 10. So we're seeing a lot of things bounce back in a big way. SoFlo, UUU going crazy as well. Another Prospero signal highlight pick right there. UUUU. So yeah, a lot of, especially the energy companies, seem to be really moving again today. So you're seeing where people really feel confident and want to put their money and buy the dip in the most. Also, playing along these themes, we're seeing rare earth metal stocks going crazy. USAR and MP stocks both shooting higher. Nick Chuchua, JP Morgan News went out as well. Thank you for the comment, Nick. I love seeing all the comments here today. As always, let me just say, because we have a lot of people in the stream already, so I'm sure we have some new folks tuning in. Follow along with our friends Mario, JC, George, SoFlo, Nick. You can ask any questions, comments about any stock, macro, micro, business, AI, tech. We're happy to answer them all and want to address all of your, most pressing concerns on the streams here. Provide some value. So join in the comments if you haven't before. We have a couple more topics to go through. So Salesforce is adding voice calling to their Agent Force AI. So I know a lot of people work in communications for companies, and maybe this AI update from Salesforce is about to rock the worlds of quite a few people if this is adopted a lot. 1.5 trillion initiative to provide funding and invest in sectors including rare minerals. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yes, so now we know why those stocks exactly are shooting up like they are. Let's check out actually which is overperforming. I know USAR is a lot smaller of a market cap, but MP has been rallying ever since it was, oh my gosh, MP is up 25% today. It's now at nearly an 18 billion market cap. USAR up 26%. JPM up 2%, said JC. What are some other stocks in that rare earth area of the market? I think LAC was one I saw last week or maybe the week before that the administration was thinking about also taking a stake in. But yes, that's some wild moves happening there for those companies, especially MP, a stock that before today was already up a ton and now up another 25% today. Wow, wild. Wild, wild. All right. Another topic. USA recession odds for 2025 were as high as 65% at one point this year. And they are well below that now. So we will get into it. I mean, the year is almost over, so it doesn't seem likely at all that the US will enter recession this year, especially by the definitional standard of what a recession is typically classified as. But we'll ask George maybe more, it could be more helpful for us, what the likelihood of a 2026 USA recession, if that's likely at all, if he sees that in the cards, what percent odds he would give it. I think that's the latest one I saw that administration take a stake in. So TMQ was a ticker that Nick shared for another one of those rare earth mineral. I haven't been following this one, but I definitely will start. OMG. Wow. It's up 220% in the past month. Yeah, so I think I see the exact day when they announced that news. It shot up like crazy. All right, so we'll be following that one too. We want to follow all these stocks that are making the biggest moves. And then I have one more topic that we'll get to on the stream. Thank you, Nick. Before we do the model portfolio update at the end of the stream, which if you guys are unaware, that is, or haven't seen our streams before, that is when George makes live moves to the portfolio. So you get to see exactly what he's doing, how he's maneuvering and managing the portfolio that has performed so well over the past couple of years. So it's really, really useful, I feel like, for people who are looking to outperform the market. So definitely stick around all the way till the end. Last but not least, I want to rag on the streaming stocks a little bit. I don't know if anybody is a big Stranger Things fan, one of my most, one of my favorite shows. I saw that they're going to be releasing this season. I don't know if they did this the last time it came out, but they're going to be releasing the season a month apart. So like part 1 and part 2 of the season. And it's just so funny to me how streaming companies, like, they used to be the opposite of TV where you'd have no commercials and you get all the content instantly. And just like day by day, it's just becoming TV online. Like, there's commercials now. They're going to release them, a month apart. So you have to buy 2 months of Netflix membership. It's just like, okay, we see where this is going. But we'll get to that later on. Netflix is releasing Stranger Things, I believe, the end of November for the first part of it. And then at the end of December. Nick said, does he update the trading portfolio or the investing portfolio or both? So on the streams, he updates the investing he updates the trading portfolio. I don't think we've ever or rarely updated the investing portfolio on the streams. So no, I think it's just a trading portfolio. We do other stuff sometimes, like update the screener in the app and add some other value as well. But most of the time, it's just that for the viewers. Hello, George. Welcome to the stream today. Good to see you. Wait a second. Can you speak again? I didn't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes. There we go. We got you loud and clear now.
Excellent.
We were chatting with all of the viewers so far. Everybody is trying to stay safe. A lot of people on the East Coast are getting some bad rain and wind today. It looks like you are getting it as well. So hopefully we don't lose power throughout the stream here.
If this building loses power, that'd be pretty dark.
I was about to say, is that a problem in New York City? Because like here I'm in Bergen County, we lose power, 2, maybe 3 times a year. It happens pretty frequently. Do you lose power there?
I think, yeah, buildings of this size I think are required to have a backup generator.
Interesting stuff there. And we had a lot of comments already in the chat. Everybody's excited with the green they're seeing in their portfolios probably and across the markets today. Looks like, rare earth minerals are going to be a large topic today. Energy, a lot of the segments of the market we've been covering so much over the past year. Like I was saying, the markets are super green today after we had, what a reversal from Friday where it was the worst day in the markets maybe for all of 2025, or at least since, actually, no, probably not, but at least since April when we had the whole Trump tariff saga. Are you surprised to see such a reversal? And can we also get your thoughts on how the Prospero signals, we were highlighting the QQQ and SPY net option sentiment dropping to zero. Pretty amazing just before that Friday decline. So your thoughts on that and then what we're seeing today.
Hold on, I'm gonna do that. I have one more thing to send the stream, one more person to send the stream to, and yeah, I feel like I didn't even send it out to anyone. We have a lot of people here. That's pretty cool. Um, okay, just this,
Hey,
and then
once
I'm
you
gonna check.
once your signals
Mhm.
make a market call like ours did on last Friday, I think the people want to tune in and find out what else we're gonna say.
That's true. SPY and option sentiment still at zero. QQQ at two. I mean, to me, that makes sense. I'm a little shocked by the market response today. Um, does mine look like a little delay? I feel like I'm on a little delay.
Not really. I think you look pretty good. Let us know,
Okay.
chat, if George is delayed.
I think my rabbit ate my there was some eating of my internet
Well,
cables.
that'll do
So
it.
I think I ordered some new ones. I have it oh, it's like there. If it's not a problem, I'll just replace it. I actually have a new one. But anyway, yeah, it was a really like it was a landmark one for us. I gotta, we're always talking about Matt on this thing. I don't know if he's tuning in today. But yeah, I got to give Matt credit. He watches the QQQ and SPY net option sentiment, and like sometimes I'm just like he tells me, and I'm just like tell other tell other people. There was I think there was one person in particular that thought it was funny that we said y'all in the warning. I think it was like y'all. That's not good. But that's
I know
really
I
funny.
could just for 1 second. I could read the tweets that Matt writes and I'm like, oh yeah, that's Matt. I see that. Just by
Yeah.
the language.
Well, it's just like, yeah, I mean, the other funny thing is like, I mean, I guess everybody just assumes everything's AI these days. Like, I would think that they would want a person on our account posting things. They just want it all to be automatic, I guess. But yeah, that was pretty funny. But I mean, look, it's one of our, it's one of our better calls ever. I mean, but that's what we always talk about. Sometimes the Prospero signals make things easy, especially because QQQ net option sentiment, I think it was at like 30 the day before, and then it went to zero. And that kind of drop, especially that fast, it definitely is a huge warning sign. I mean, look, I think we try to be very balanced politically, and on this particular issue, it's actually pretty easy to be balanced because I don't think information circulating in certain smaller, wealthier circles before it gets to everyone else is a new thing at all. But I would say this year we're getting some pretty, with Liberation Day, we're getting some pretty clear signaling that a critical mass of people in the market seem to know about these events um, before they happen. And, when we say that kind of thing, it's always like, there's a number of ways they could, know about it or whatever. Like there were some, there could just be people that are really read into the conflict around rare earth minerals and kind of hear from afar that the White House is pissed off, right? Like that could be something. It could really just be as simple as that. And I mean, whether or not anyone in this administration or any administration is going directly to Wall Street and being like, we're mad about this or we're about to threaten China or anything like that. We don't know. But, even just the people around the president, where he stands on things. And before he said that, I wouldn't be surprised if he was walking around really pissed and talking about that for a few days. And it really could be as simple as that. Um, and there's so many people around. It could be everyone from a high level staffer, to someone that's just like just someone that's around the White House. It could even be, who knows? It could be like someone that cleans the White House. That's just like, man, you know, Trump is really pissed about China. And maybe a hedge fund pays that person very handsomely anytime they go and deliver something like that. And I'm not thinking anything of these things are specifically what I would think, but I'm just saying that, like, when we say information is getting out and it's being picked up into our signals, we're not accusing anyone of anything specific, right? But it's hard to look at how our signals are behaving around a lot of these events and not think that some information about them is getting out before they happen.
Well, I think I have an interesting question, or at least thought experiment of like, if people are, I don't know if we want to call it insider trading or whatever, like acting on information that not everybody knows, that would make the Prospero signals more accurate and more useful to people, right? Because you're delivering that information that people are missing through people positioning in the markets to everybody.
I mean, to be perfectly clear, that's why they were created, with the assumption of that. I don't know how often I've told this story, but my first job out of college, it was '08. The markets were super difficult. I was covering um, I was covering two print yellow pages companies, and my boss had me do these like in-depth debt models. I was working at his single family office. He had a bunch of money on his own. I was just kind of helping him as he was getting older, research some stuff and things like that. Very sharp guy. He made his money in like leveraged buyouts. So like barbarians at the gates kind of stuff. If you want to read that book, it's a good book that'll tell you everything a lot about leveraged buyouts. And it's a great book. But he was having me do these debt models. And I was about 22, and I had done some value investing. I had worked on these things. I was looking at these companies, and in reality, they didn't have to file for bankruptcy. And they didn't have to file for bankruptcy because they had hundreds of millions of cash on their books. And when you're a company and your debt trades publicly, right, you could buy back your debt. So, like, let's say you owe $1 million on your debt, or actually, I don't. That math is harder. Let's say you owe $100,000, because I know how to do that math a lot easier. Total, and you might owe $100,000 on the papers you signed, but your debt actually trades on the open market if it's public, as well, and their debt was actually trading at like 3 cents on the dollar. So they could have bought back their own debt instead of paying back the principal of interest. They could have just bought back the debt on the open market at a huge discount, because I guess everybody thought they were going to file for bankruptcy. So I myself was doing these models, and if they bought back their debt, they had plenty of money that they wouldn't have had to file for bankruptcy for 5 years or more. So we were basically buying up their shares, I thought, under the expectation that the market thought that they would file for bankruptcy, but they wouldn't have to. Here's what happened. I had worked really hard in my life. At that point, I had already worked in my first hedge fund, a bunch of other stuff. And I put over 6 figures into these companies, because I was like, oh, my very smart boss is like keeps buying these shares. This is going to be a huge windfall for me and him. I did that for probably 6 months. And not only did I do that, people saw we were the largest shareholder, and they would call me, and they'd be like, well, it looks like Wall Street might think that these companies are filing for bankruptcy. And I was like, no, I worked on these debt models myself. They can stay afloat for 5 more years, blah, 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 all that stuff. They didn't file for they filed for bankruptcy shortly after that. There's something called a leverage ratio covenant, right? And if you bought back the debt, they wouldn't violate it. They're like their debt to income ratio would have been in the range, but they basically intentionally didn't buy back their debt, and filed for bankruptcy because they tripped their leverage ratio covenant. Secured debt holders who got paid out For this, they made a return on their money because they bought their secured debt at a discount. All of the common shareholders, including me, got wiped out. And when they filed for bankruptcy, I walked into my boss's office, kind of a gruff guy, not a very nice guy. I mean, there's not a lot of nice people in leverage buyouts. And I was like, "What are we doing here? Like, I thought you were on top of this. Like, I just lost like pretty much all my savings in this." And he was like, "You idiot. What were you buying those stocks for?" And I was like, "I don't know. I saw you buy. I bought when you bought." And he was like, "No, you don't understand. I'm going to sue them and make my historical return. I did this on purpose because I knew they were apparently lying about their bad debt expense, and he knew it because he's that smart about it. They were issuing credit sales to inflate their revenue, and he knew that by looking at the numbers. And so he did, as their largest shareholder, make a very nice return, like maybe like 10x, something, his historical return. So he made a huge return, and I lost 94% of what I put in. And that is when I got much more interested in what I would call underlying market equations. I was like, the number of people that were calling me, the options markets must have known this. There must have been some signaling that I missed with my stupid value investing shit that I was taught, that I was told was like the gospel. So yeah, when we started Prospero, it was under the now, I think, quite valid assumption that this information this information is there before. Like, people know about this stuff. And it's not just that. I want to pull up one of our case studies because it's not just this. This case study was when I really, really knew, like, as designed, that Prospero could pick this stuff up, pick up like what other people knew. And, this is in a different political administration. See, we're being very fair about this. But let me see, where's share. Yeah, exactly. I learned some of these lessons. It was not fun to lose six figures at 22. I will tell you that. But I wouldn't be here without those lessons. So
It's
I really
also
like, go ahead.
it's just really good to share that story and kind of the like, where you go wrong, because it happens, I feel like, to everybody in the markets at some point, and people don't like to talk about it or share it. Now yours was long enough ago, and you've learned your error of your ways. But thank you for sharing it. It really is a valuable story for our viewers.
Yeah, and Prospero, like, a lot of great things are born out of difficult situations. But this is when, I guess this was like end of 2022, beginning of 2023. This is when I was like, okay, my theories were valid. Like, people do know, and we've built a sensor system that could do it. So some of you has been with us for this long, so you might remember the Alibaba prediction. But yeah, you can actually see it was just very simple. Yeah, Baba is probably Prospero's favorite stock right now. Oh, the old design, all that stuff, right? But look at this. We had volatility in the signal, right? Then we have it cross. You hear me always talking about upside plus net option sentiment, right? We have this 90-90 cross. We got in here before the ant financing was announced. So like, this is a very clear thing. News was coming. We had no idea, but we could pick it up very clearly in the options markets, right? And then again, right here, not 3 months later, we got out as it started to go back down, more volatility here, and then back in. This was, and I remember I have a very skeptical NYU advisor that teaches at Stern. And he was always like, yeah, no one can do this. Like, I think he actually probably was being polite to me, but he thought I was really wasting my time. building this out, but I remember he too was like, "There's something here. You did it." But yeah, it's it works, right? We've all seen it. Anyone that's been here for a little bit, like, knows how well it works. It's not perfect, right? Because institutions, it's only not perfect because even institutions get things wrong. Um, is the important thing. Uh, is this cutting out a bunch for others? I don't know what that means, Sean.
I guess Sean is seeing the stream start and stop. If anybody else is having problems with this stream, let us know. We'll try to get an answer for. It looks good on our end, or at least for me. I don't know about you, George, but we'll let Sean know. By the way, I have a
Yeah, it
question.
seems like it's working for everybody.
Was that original boss in your story? Is he still active in the industry at all?
Um, I don't know. We don't really talk that much anymore. I did I had to quit that job when I totaled my second car because he was working me so hard. I had to like work all night. So yeah, we didn't stay in that good of a touch. He was not a very
Understood. We just got a flurry of questions coming through, actually from ourselves on our X. Curious,
Oh
what
yeah, that's gonna be Matt, right?
you see the y'all there, don't you? The combined score of QQQ and Spy this morning is still only at 2.
Um, yeah, I mean, I think that's a good question. Um, we are, um, I think this is it's a pretty clear overreaction, right? Like, I think that's how I view it. Um, I don't feel very safe, right? I mean, we're still like, it's better. The situation's better, but like, there was a threat, and then, I think he said everything's going to be okay, but I do still think the tariff threats are going to be followed through. It's so hard to like follow this stuff. And I think that's why, like, as an institution, like, you can't really trust either statement that much, but you got to stay on guard. You don't know if it's going to escalate tomorrow. Like, this is a flare up and it could escalate. So, of course, I wouldn't take my hedges off today. I'd leave my hedges on and play some upside stuff more. Absolutely. And clearly that's happening. It's going way up. But I wouldn't take off my hedges. Like, not based on, one comment that everything's going to be okay.
I don't know why, but when you said the comment, it's going to be okay. If any of our viewers know, probably if you go on the younger side, you've seen the meme, Daddy Chill. I think we should post, Trump told the market, Daddy Chill. And that's how it reacted today. I see Ryan Crowley in the chat. I invested in the recent funding round, intrigued to see where this company goes. Good luck. Thank you, Ryan. Great comment from an investor in Prospero now.
Yeah.
Another chat, DPRO is a ticker. Hannon Jones, I guess, wants us to take a look at this one in the Prospero app here this morning.
Talk to me about that, Hannon. How many angles you want to come at me for? I'll add it when this is done.
Standard deviation, haha. JC's asking, NOS still very low. Are any other indicators improving?
I really only look at NOS on the uh in terms of the index level. I don't really look at many other things. Um, I mean, upside's going down a little bit today on QQQ, but on the index level, I just care like a lot more about net option sentiment because there's parts like for SPY and QQQ, like they don't have price targets or analyst ratings. So we're just like amalgamating things for that. So it's kind of an imperfect system on the index level for something like upside or downside. But yeah, I really only look at things on the index level.
So you shared, it's interesting that you shared the BABA reference. You shared that. And, a lot of those stocks have been looking pretty bullish in our signals. Is this flare up of tensions between USA and China? Are they kind of like, even if you see good signals, are you a little bit more hesitant now?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Baba like held up better than Baidu. Like Baidu softened a little bit, but yeah, I'm not going to be in any hurry to get back into China stuff anytime soon.
Also, we're seeing like really big moves today from a lot of the rare earth stocks and even other sectors that we've been highlighting as the ones that kind of have the, most growth potential. A lot of the quantum stocks are moving today, a lot of the AI energy stocks. One in particular is this stock, Bloom Energy, which is approaching 400% year to date gains, up as much as 35% at one point today, about 25% when we checked at the beginning of the stream. They announced a $5 billion deal with Brookfield to deploy energy to power their AI. I just thought we haven't talked about Bloom Energy stock really, but they've been making huge moves in the markets. Just wanted to get your thoughts on it and seeing it rally so much. I feel like I'm asking you a lot this recently, but these stocks are moving so aggressively. It's like if you're not in
What's
Bloom
the
Energy,
ticker
are
for
there?
that?
I believe it's BE.
Yep.
Yes, BE.
Oh, damn. 100 net option sentiment. I think that's the first time I've ever seen an energy company 100 net option sentiment. Looks like it might be a good time to get Bloom.
So even after it's made this large move, you see that signal and you feel confident in a more upward move.
Yeah, I mean, I think this energy stuff, I mean, I added UAMY as a trade alert um today. And I did that um because I think a lot of these energy companies and more rare earth minerals, I'll have to look in exactly what they do. Um, but why I like things like UUU and LEU, which I don't currently have, but I don't want to necessarily over concentrate on nuclear. I would probably own that too. And UAMY, which is a different rare earth mineral. Because if you like, I like to look at China events, or like I like to look at events like this. Um, if the market is healthy, I think these things will keep going up, right? And if things escalate with China, they might go up even more. So that's why I really like, these and you know, there's a lot of talk that there's going to be more direct investment in these companies. And any of these companies that get direct investment from the US government is going to go bonkers. And I think UAMY already has a defense contract. That was one of the things I saw the AI system highlight when I added it today. So yeah, full speed ahead.
Now, I feel like Friday was kind of like a resetting for the market, and then today you're seeing certain stocks pop a lot, some just green, but you're seeing like stocks like Coinbase, Robinhood, even red still today. Are you going to be looking at the way stocks are moving today based on that Friday reset we had to see or gauge investor, strength in certain companies, certain industries, just based purely on how they move today?
Um, no, I mean, I think the only thing that really matters to me with respect to that is things that look strong. Like I'm saying with this, it's kind of the opposite. Like I'm not going to hold it too far against them, but I'd rather things that look strong Friday and today because there's plenty of options. Like um you did really well, for example. But yeah, I mean, I think Robinhood being down today is very interesting in combination with everything else. Because like what that says to me is that people are concerned there's going to be a bigger drop in the market.
Well, it was pretty shocking. I don't know how many of our viewers noticed, but like after the market closed on Friday, maybe people shut their portfolios and like I'm done looking at this for the weekend. But a lot of the cryptos dropped like 50+%, like in a flash crash. I think Cardano, excuse me, XRP, Dogecoin, a lot of like I think ETH, Solana, and Bitcoin dropped but held up better, but a lot of those other ones kind of dropped a lot. So I'm wondering what's going on with like that, you know, finance, crypto, Robinhood being the positional leader there. Um, if anything particular was going on with that whole area of the market.
I just did an ad. UAMY. Oh,
UAMY.
damn. My exit Baidu all didn't go through. But I'm getting credit for it because I sent it. I'm doing this.
Mario is asking about the trade alerts showing in his app. I don't think I've had them for several days, he said.
Yeah, they got removed. I don't know why so many people, nobody reads
It was just a
what I
week
say.
trial, right?
Yeah. I mean, we tried, we tried to like communicate this in so many ways and times. I mean, we're actually going to turn them back on Wednesday for people that have invested, and hopefully, if you miss them the first time, you want to invest, and get them next time. But yeah, we had some improvements to make. And I mean, I continue to set through because I want to get in the habit and I want to do the signal. I continue to send one a day. But no, I mean, we want to create an urgency to invest, and we have investment perks, but we're legally not allowed to give out those investment perks until the round is over. So we will give those out as promised. But until the round ends, we can't give out those. So, we're giving some people free weeks that don't even have to do it with the perk, very nice of us, I think. But yeah, there's going to be one more run. I believe it's going to be this Wednesday to next Wednesday, and then we're done until the crowdfund ends. But, it's only 10 more days for the crowdfund ends. Or no, Wednesday to Wednesday, there'll be like, I think maybe 8 days.
Yeah, so the crowdfund is running through the entire month of October, right?
I think it's on the 30th. I originally thought it was the
30th.
31st, but I think it ends on the 30th. And I cannot wait for it to be over.
And for those watching on YouTube, it was shared in our chat, so you could click on the link for the Prospero crowdfund if you're interested. Haven't checked it out yet. Okay,
Sorry,
let's move.
making a live move. We're adding, since I announced it live, I thought it was only fair that all the newsletter people get added. Sometimes we're giving a little time for the alerts. These logistics are difficult.
Mhm. I wanted to bring up a story today about Broadcom because they have a $10 billion mystery customer that they have not confirmed who is, but they did say the president said today that it is not OpenAI. So, George, why would they not reveal the customer? And that does that give you, we've talked about the circular nature of the AI space at the moment. Does this give you any questions or concerns about like how confirmed these funds are to going to Broadcom?
Wasn't there an announcement that said that Broadcom and OpenAI were building some specialized chips today? I could have sworn I saw that.
Maybe they made the announcement, but I think in their last earnings they said they have this $10 billion deal, and maybe that's different. Maybe they're not connected. So maybe that'd be bullish because if they have the deal and then OpenAI has a different customer on top of it.
Yeah. But no, this stuff's a big deal. It's we're um we're definitely in a spot where there's going to be continued, we always say there's a difference between like AI services and chips, and like I don't think these chip orders, they're going to get more and more advanced, they're going to get bigger. And it's interesting because I think what we're actually starting to see, I mean, I don't think this is bad for Nvidia at all, but I think what we're starting to see is some of these like other providers like Broadcom and AMD, I think there are some people that are starting to, I guess, become more cost conscious. Um, so uh yeah, I think that in terms of like doing these other providers or whatever, I think that's when you start to see these deals. Um, but no, I mean it's interesting. I haven't checked on, our signals used to really like Broadcom, and then they were in a bit of a slump. Um, Let's see. Upside I know was a bit lower. Um, yeah, 60. Yeah, I don't know why our signal soured on Broadcom so much, but they did.
SoFlo is asking in our chat about your thought process on adding UAMY with it being up.
Um, A, I mean, I think the trend on net option sentiment is very, very compelling. But let's look. Yeah, 80. Yeah, look at that. Look at that very nice trend line on net option sentiment. Very nice trend line on upside. Downside's going up too. But I think you have to like that trend line. I mean, 85 growth is really nice too. That means that there's real, like some of these earlier stage things, um, you know, you don't have any real profitability and growth, but 33 profitability, 85 growth is pretty good in terms of them actually having like contracts secured and knowledge of it. Oh, in terms of them being up 28%, I think the main logic is that their business is in a really good spot, right? I think regardless of how this ends up with China, we are going to be investing a lot in rare earth minerals. Like the tensions, like even if China's like, you can have more, we want to be independent of them. And we're going to be investing a lot of money in making sure that they're independent. So the macro story, like even if it went down 30% tomorrow, as long as that option sentiment stayed up, I might still hold because I would expect to catch that up over time. It was very high in momentum score too. I think it was like number 2 or 3. Let me see. The momentum score right now is 73. Yeah. So really, really good momentum score. But yeah,
What the heck is
that's like
antimony? UAMY.
um
They're like number
I
one.
just know it's a rare earth mineral, but it's a very good question.
Um, I have a question surrounding these stocks. So we have USAR, MP, now UAMY. All these stocks, all these rare earth and like mining stocks have been going crazy. So seemingly these companies would have an infinite demand at the moment, but they have such real restrictions of like the physical world in terms of the supply. Do you think they're getting a little bit ahead of themselves in terms of like how quickly they can grow, how much more production they can have, and like all of those types of things growing when you're a mining company? Is that going to be tougher to actually succeed on than the market is pricing in?
It really depends on the business. Um, but um, a lot of these things are um, like I think the defense. Off the top of my head, I think the defense thing is. Oh, I didn't know that too. I think the Defense Department gave them a contract to expand their mining operations, right? So that's a big thing. I mean, what I don't know exactly is how much mine expansion can like expand, their production or anything like that, like what percentage like these mining things are. Um, but we should, I think that's a good thing to learn more about, take a deeper dive on um on mining.
I mean, this is seriously like becoming a modern day gold rush, it feels like right now. Like, do you think back in the history books, like when you read about the gold rush, like when the history books write about this time period, it's going to be the gold rush 2.0 just for AI and what's going on right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big difference though is it's like I think the gold rush was like one of the things that made it was like everyday people were like uprooting their lives to do that. Nobody's got their like pan out looking for uranium. So I think that's it's a little more like corporate. I think that was like I think you might like the businesses might look at it, but no, I think kind of like a big part of the gold rush was that it was like you were moving your family from like Pennsylvania to San Francisco to like start a life around gold mining. So yeah, I think it's a little different from a cultural perspective.
Well, I think this could be a great Fast Company article because when you said that, it said, well, the gold rush, people were uprooting their lives for it, but now AI is uprooting the lives of people. And it has to do with this story that I'm about to say. Salesforce is adding voice calling service to their Agentforce AI, and now people looking for customer service software can have this embedded AI voice in the product, don't need people anymore, which we know a lot of people work in this area and certainly will uh, have competition with AI now for their job. So I don't know. That's an interesting dynamic. I'd like to hear an article written by you on that whole process and kind of the yin and yang of how the gold rush people uprooted their lives for it, but now it's kind of the reverse. AI might uproot their life.
Yeah, I don't think we should like hold our breath on the customer service thing for a little bit. I mean, it was like one of the funniest things. I don't think this guy liked me very much, but I was actually at a Fast Company like Impact Council event, and this AI company for customer service was doing a presentation, and they were bragging about how they're like, oh, their customer service was so good for this bank, and they told a story about how like someone on a bicycle was able to answer a customer service phone call. Um, and I thought that that was pretty funny because it shows how far away, like a lot of what they were bragging about was that they could get someone to a human like in the right way, like, so it's pretty clear that what people still like about customer service is the humans. So yeah, I'm not really in I don't really, I think until that, like, people know when they're talking to bots. When you start having bots that can help people anywhere close to as humans, then I think it's interesting. Otherwise, I'd say a non-story.
JC mentioned it's going to be good for outbound sales calls too in the future. Not quite there yet, though.
Yeah.
Now, here's an interesting question. So, this the AI development and technology is becoming better and better. It's only going to get better over time. Do you see a day ever in the future where a company can be started purely only AI, like literally no human input anywhere within the company? Like, I guess at that point, AI would have to reason and like have all these capabilities. Like, it'd have to literally be a person. But like, is that 10 years away? Is that 20 years away? 50? Will it ever happen? What are your thoughts on that?
Um, I think it depends on the company. I do think everybody, like, this is kind of cliched. I do think we're going to see the first unicorn. That's one per, like, just basically one coder, maybe vibe coding. But there's certain things that you're just going to need people for. Like, I think that would have to be something that was just like um a service. Like there's a lot of companies that are, and then I'm just like, well, maybe it needs customer service. Um, I don't know exactly what it would be, but you still need humans for a lot of stuff.
Well,
And
it,
even when you get big, like something like having a CFO, like maybe like, I have pretty good like accounting skills and everything like that, but I would never, like, once we get to a certain size, I'd want like a CFO for the business. So it's just like that's the same thing for like a unicorn. I don't think they would ever like um not want something like a CFO. Now, I don't know if vendors count, right? You could have like an accounting firm as a vendor, and that's more realistic, but that's why I think we might see it. But there's so many businesses it just wouldn't work for.
well, even like the economy of that is so interesting because I guess like AI isn't just gonna like, set out to do things unless it's programmed or asked to, right? So, but like maybe you'd have a company one day that the company has the technology and then they're just like spin up the most successful businesses that you can think of and like all it's just a full company that's just making companies with AI like underneath the umbrella of like different, try to make the best companies you can. I guess there will always have to be someone at the top of the, leading the charge that could be a person
Yeah,
at the end
like,
of the
I
day.
mean, yeah, there'll be like there's got to be one person who, like, owns the company. Um, but yeah.
JC commented Cyberdyne Systems. I don't know if this is a company active today that's trying to do stuff like this, but could be interesting. We have two more topics here to go through on the stream. One is a personal vendetta against streaming companies by me, so we'll save that one for last. We'll start here with USA recession odds. They were as high as 65% at one point this year on Polymarket, all the way down to 6% as of today. But this is for 2025, so it makes sense with only a few months being left in the year that they would have dropped so much. How are you feeling for if we set our sight? Did I say 2026? I meant 2025. How are you feeling if we set our sights on next year? Where do you think the odds should be? And how concerned are you that the USA economy, will enter recession at any point in 2026?
Um, it's just so hard to say. I mean, I think, if certain dominoes don't fall correctly, we could absolutely be in a recession in 2026. But I also could see us like, we talk about this all the time, like putting band-aids on it, and yeah, we're like, for example, one of the things I said is like this administration is willing to invest in companies, probably willing to invest in the stock market, right? So, what this government might do to stimulate things and kick the can down the road, it's like it's very, very hard to say what would definitively put us over the edge. But I mean, I would lean more towards not, like, because they are willing to do that, and what we've seen already, I would lean more towards there not being a recession in 2026 than there would be.
Now, I also have a question on this topic of like, so it seems like data recently has become, people have become less confident in the data we're getting. And also, the last time we had a, I guess, technical recession by like the definition of like 2 quarters of negative growth in a row, it wasn't actually like classified as a recession by like the business world or the Fed, or I'm not sure who actually gets to term it actually. But it seems like the reality and like what is the marketing of the situation is a little different. So, will it even matter if like the news comes out that the USA is actually in a recession, or does it more so just matter about like the experience that people are having, and how people are investing, the way companies are reporting, the job market? I think it's a little more, what I'm trying to say is like fact based than just the term recession, if we hear that in the future.
I think it's too interconnected as well is the issue, right? Because um, when you look at it like this, let's say the stock market did slow down, right? And people had less. We talk about that straining the credit system. We talk about like, maybe real estate being maybe a trigger that reduces people's capital that then causes the stock market to go down, right? That happens, and then people are spending less. Companies might be spending less because people are spending less. We produce less, recession, right? Um, so it's all a little too interconnected, I think, to pick and choose.
I guess that's why everything moves in a cycle. Once one domino falls, the rest will tumble. We have had over 3,700 people tune into the stream so far today. That is pretty incredible. So thank you all for tuning in so far. Whether you're watching on Twitter or X, I should say, or YouTube, follow us, subscribe to us, like the live streams. I'm happy. Hopefully, you guys are all enjoying it so far today. We have one more topic to go through, and then we will get into the model portfolio. So, George, one of my favorite TV shows or streaming shows, Stranger Things, is set to start up again at the end of November. And I just saw that Netflix is now going to actually, they're releasing it in 2 parts, but it's really three. So they're going to release part one of the season the end of November, part two the end of December, and then part three is actually a week, or the finale is actually after that. So I'm wondering if the finale is actually in a third payment cycle. And obviously they're doing this because they want people to sign up for Netflix and then pay month after month, get you in the system. But it's
Of
just
course.
another step down the line of streaming becoming TV. The benefits of streaming in the beginning: no commercials, instant access to all the content. Now there's commercials everywhere, and you got to wait months for the content. So, what's going on with streaming, George? Is Netflix just TV now?
Um, I'll tell. I don't know how to like. I don't know. I don't think there is TV. I think there's just now this more annoying system. And I was even thinking that I was like such an enthusiastic cord cutter. But it's actually kind of funny because now I feel that I'd pay like happily pay like $300 just to have everything, right? And have it be in one place and have all the shows, whatever it is, have all my, preferences. Like this system has gotten really, really annoying. And it's like, it's not just annoying at home where I guess you could get everything set up and you can have it. It's even more annoying when you go anywhere because you're just like, oh, like now I have to log into this or that. Anytime I'm, taking like a work trip and it's just like, oh, like some of the TVs have this system or this app or whatever. And I just wish I could have one kind of thing that had my subscription that I could just have, you know, anywhere. And I even remember when like you could travel and have like a sling thing for your cable, but I hate this. It's too many things and it's too hard to keep track of. And I do also feel like all of the subscriptions are now more than I used to pay for everything. Especially because YouTube TV wants to gouge me on Sunday Ticket too. Like definitely in football season, I'm paying more than I ever paid like everything all in, and it's just annoying. I don't like. I actually, I mean, I shouldn't say I long for the old system. I long for the old system in theory, but commercials were like a scourge on all of us. So yeah, I'm glad to be without the commercials, but otherwise, it's like just another thing to worry about a bunch of different stuff for.
Nick said he likes to scroll through the old TVs at hotels. A little bit nostalgia, huh, Nick? So a better times back in the day when it was just TVs. See, I'm
No,
wondering,
I can't
George,
handle those commercials. Commercials drive me crazy. Especially if
you
you're watching like a movie and you get the commercials. It's one thing for like TV, but like I'm just reminded about how much I hate that.
well, you described the system perfectly, and I feel like it's almost unsustainable the way it's set up right now. Do you think it's like ripe for innovation or disruption, and a new company can pop in and really take advantage of the mess that the content and entertainment world is right now?
No, I don't think so, and I'll tell you why. Because like you're never going to be able to get anything. Netflix is never going to feed your content in like maybe there could be I think something like Google TV is all like I do use Google TV and that does combine different things and I like that and I guess that's just adopting it. So yeah, I mean I think Google like I think there's some good, kind of systems that recommend content from everything. Um but yeah, I don't think we're ever going back to the way where you could just have like one thing that was everything.
Will feels your pain with the football when leaving the app, getting ads and stuff. Well, you never know what you're getting on a Prospero stream. From George's backstory, from his 22-year-old adventures, to AI, to energy, to content, Netflix, Stranger Things, you get it all. But time to do our switch over and do the model portfolio update. So we'll be right back with George on the other side of things. I think we have a shot to hit 4,000 live viewers today. So that's going to be pretty crazy. So everybody stick around. George will be right back in here. Hopefully you all enjoyed the stream so far. If you have, once again, like it up. I see on YouTube we've already gotten to 20 likes without me even badgering you all. So thank you. We'll take a look around the markets now. We'll also look at QQQ, SPY, net options sentiment once again before we do the model portfolio. So let's see how the market has moved over the course of the past hour. Okay. Well, it looks like the QQQ is back to the top of its range for the day. So is the SPY, the Dow, the Russell. Everything is looking green. The VIX is currently sub 20, which I know some people are looking at as an important level to keep track of throughout today. Interesting to see the Russell is actually the leading indice of the day, followed by the QQQ, then the SPY, then the Dow. Let's see if those Prospero signals have gotten any more bullish since we started. They were still down at very low levels. Doesn't look like it. QQQ still showing 0 in the app and SPY 1. So quite low still on the day. So our signals are not exactly believing in this bull day just yet. So we'll have to see how George decides to maneuver the portfolio and take advantage of the bullishness in the market today while still accounting the Prospero signals. If you're just tuning in now, George did a live ad on the stream actually, a stock with the ticker UAMY, which looked good in the signals. Okay, let's look around the markets. We have Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, Tesla, all green. Let's look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA is green as well. And NVIDIA is fastly approaching that $5 trillion valuation, which it is now just under 10% away. I think at one point at its highs, it was within 5% of hitting that insane level. So keep our eyes on that. If the market's able to regain its momentum, I'm sure NVIDIA will be hitting that soon. Probably before the end of the year if the market has another nice rally. But we have to get through earnings season first, which are coming up in just a couple of weeks. If you're watching on YouTube, you're getting in the live chat from Nightbot. You could check out our current crowdfund on Republic, which just has a few weeks left. So definitely check that out. I also shared the investing and the trading newsletters for you. If you want to sign up for those, check those out. All of those links are shared in the chat. George is back with us. We are ready to rock, ready to roll. QQQ and SPY net option sentiment still looking low. Not exactly
for the
rally.
DPRO people. I added it. It should be there by and anytime you ask for a ticker to be added, if I say I added it, like just it might take a day to appear, but if it doesn't appear in a day, definitely remind me. Otherwise, it could maybe slip through the cracks.
I hope Hannon Jones is still here to hear that. DPRO.
He left because he didn't get his ticker.
Ah, no, he said, thank you, sir. There we go.
I'm just kidding. All right. All right, so we're at 2 and 0 and 2.
Currently, I'm seeing 0 QQQ, SPY 1.
Oh, QQQ's back down to 0.
Now, if you saw double zeros by the end of the day, would you start to feel even more so like, uh-oh?
Nah, I'm already like managing the risk of this. Like I'm currently like I think I might have gotten a little too bearish. I might even it out more because balancing the market with the signals, but we'll take a look. Oh, I also want to do, as we do sometimes, we are going to we need that, but we're going to update our screener. That's so. All right. It is a cautious pull. I was like, we're missing all like the upside ones, but that's fine. All right. As always, somebody should let me know when it's in. And we will send out this alert. All right, what is next? Now we're going to go back here.
Wait a second. How did it update so quick? It already updated. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, it can go very fast. It's just whenever the next push is. So, we push every 3 minutes, sometimes more often. Right, that's done. Now we can do this. Interesting. Yeah, see? The screener is good. Value is still doing better. Is this refreshed? Like, is it still value? Yeah.
Let's go. We have an OG viewer. Gilbert is in here saying, I remember Steven asking us to get to 10 likes. Now we're getting close to 30. That's what we like to see.
We got
Thank
30
you,
likes on YouTube?
I think he said getting close. So I don't want to get ahead of ourselves.
No, I mean, that's great. Yeah. That is awesome.
Well, thank you,
Thank you.
Gilbert,
Thank you,
for
everybody.
watching us the whole time.
That's crazy that energy's down with all like the nuclear stuff doing well. It must mean those companies are doing real bad. Trad energy. Materials is doing good. Oh, we gotta do.
I wonder if those like nuclear startups and all the energy stocks we've been covering are in like that energy ETF, or if they need to be added still. Like, what is it, the XLE?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. They might not be. Come on. Is that all we have? Damn, look at all that. This portfolio has a good amount of ASTS. That does us well. Oh, see, I added UAMY already. Bam. Good job, George. Okay. What am I doing here? Oh, I need. No, that's not it. 1028. I thought I downloaded it again. I guess not. UAMY at the top of momentum score now. Oh, oops. I didn't really want to do this first. No, I clicked on the wrong thing. Oh, I forgot about this. How long have those equal signs been gone? Roku has been. What's going on with Roku? What's the net option sentiment trend like?
Roku is trending down, currently at 32, and it was in the 60s in the beginning of October, actually high 50s, and now all the way down. By the way, if anybody is just tuning into the stream now and you're catching us in the middle of this, we are updating the model portfolio live, so we're making live switches. So that's what you're seeing on the stream. Could be a little bit confusing if you're jumping in right here.
Why do I keep doing that?
So Hannon, George said it should take about 1 day, but if you don't see it in like 1 to 2 days in the app, then let us know again.
Okay, that's done. All right, now we gotta do this. How many of these do we have? We have 37 and 37 now. Even, oh, we're all even, long, short. Look at us, we were well positioned. I'm not ready to get rid of all the R hearts yet. Why can't I find it? That's what I'm looking for.
Nick's right. You can add or request stock tickers in the Discord, which is in the description of our YouTube. And I have updated it. Somebody said it was broken a few weeks ago, but I updated it. So if you want to join, let me know that it's working. That'd be awesome.
Is that our current? Okay, I do think that's our current portfolio. Ooh, maybe we'll hold. Maybe we'll give Hood 1 more day. What's the core weave net option sentiment trend like?
Core weave is still at 95 and is kind of in a sideways trend just between 90 and 100.
How about
right
Hood?
now. It's a little bit out an upswing recently. Hood is at 99, very stable, between 99 and 95.
All right, we're gonna hold on to it. Let's just see. Okay, now we gotta. Okay, we're gonna prioritize. Oh, we did add 2 of those already. Okay, so.
Thanks, JC, for confirming the Discord is working. I think we'll test having this pinned on the screen. Maybe it'll help people if they're just tuning in.
I think we have Roku in. Hopefully we don't get screwed on that. Arm is looking good, but I think we're a little overexposed. All right, I feel good about this. does it always assume that I want to send this the next day? It's odd. Okay, 12:20, that's right. Now let's just look at this. Damn, this would be crazy if we get back over 100. I think I'm going to stay in that a little longer. How's Jen doing? Jen's doing fine. Let's just take a gander at these. Maybe. What's Tesla doing in an option sentiment? Tesla. Looking at Tesla. Okay. 70 net option session. I'll give it a little bit longer in the day, but maybe. All right. I don't think I'm dropping Tesla yet. But I'm thinking about it for today. All right. Any other questions before we sign off?
I think that's just about it. Gilbert is just shouting out you one more time. Still looking at strong NOS. Took 1/3 of his gains this morning. 25.
Yeah. No, I don't know. With such strong NOS, you might live to regret that. Oh, this definitely looks choppy.
Yeah, I think the bunny was eating these cables, maybe.
No, I just wow, that's not good. I think I don't have my VPN on this computer.
By the way, I can confirm we did cross 30 likes on YouTube.
Maybe not. Oh, that's in. There we go. Awesome. Thanks for liking it up. Oh yeah, and the only other thing I just wanted to say is, I mean, it's been awesome. I think we've gotten like 60,000 in new crowd funds since Friday, since our big news. So thanks everyone for that. And yeah.
Can we get your thoughts on
question? UNH? I dropped it just because I didn't like what I didn't like is UNH should be a good, old-fashioned value stock, and it went down on Friday more than I would have liked, so that kind of soured me on it a little bit. But it's something that if I felt stronger about things, I would get back into.
There you go, Hanan. Nick also said, thanks for the stream. You are very welcome. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
All right, last call for questions, but I think we're good.
Yeah, that's going to be it for George and I. George, thanks for sharing that story on the stream. It was a great insights, and thanks for chatting. See you on here Wednesday. Wednesday, 3 p.m. EST, everybody. See you then. Bye.